This is my old '89 Sportster, and I got to make a comment about something. I don't want to really make some kind of clickbait videos, so I'm not getting monetized in this anyway. But I'm just saying, I see a lot of videos out there that are AI produced, and they're never like real people. They're just some garbage that was put together, and usually they knock Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson's going down, and all this kind of crap. Now I heard about this thing about the last one I just watched real quick was one of those short freaking videos that had 30-second video goes, you know, Honda was trying to get in the market. They're making better bikes and stuff. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But the thing is, they said Harley Davidson lobbied the government to put a 45% tariff on bikes over 700 cc's. So Honda came back and did 700 cc's and limit, and they still sold a lot and all this other garbage. But the point is, I'm going to tell you something. I was over in Okinawa, Japan for 6.5 years almost. And when I got there in 85, the guy over there was the master gunnery sergeant. He had a Corvette. And he had to get a single freaking U-joint for it. And the thing is, the U-joint cost $100. This is back in Chevy, for a Chevy. Corvette, Chevy, don't matter. It's just Chevy U-joint. Over here, they're like $4 or $5. The reason it was $100 was because import taxes. And I was seeing over there that they have like 100% import tax or anything. Now, will Japanese all over the place buy everything American? No, but a lot of them would because it's foreign. It's cool because you got something foreign. So we really can't sell there because of the high import tax. So, that's one thing they left out of the video. Here's the other thing, though, is, our race is our nation, right, Orion? And when I look at it, like, this bike represented something more than just Harley Davidson. It represented like old America, which is being destroyed by, YT and all the other conglomerates and stuff. And what I see what's going on today is that the little punks that we got for the new generation aren't getting it. The Japanese bikes are good, but I think Japan is for Japan. I've got a lot of respect for the Japanese, man. I can tell you one thing: they're one nation that is not my race that I have a lot of respect for. They really are really good. They're about the only ones I got a lot of respect for. Period. But as far as buying American, it means like within our own, America meant something before, and I'm putting it out here plain as simple as day. Because America's been destroyed from within. It's just like the old Roman stock was destroyed with too many people that weren't Roman, and eventually it wasn't Rome. This bike used to represent real America, the one when it was 90% one type. So this is one reason I stick with it. A lot of people stick with it. They don't freaking admit it, but you know what? I don't care. I'll openly admit it. This is the way it's going to be. And this bike's an 89. Now, the newer bikes, they got a lot more complexity to it, but I can tell you what, relatively speaking, a motorcycle is still a lot less complex than a freaking car. You get a 2020, I'd much rather have a 2025 Harley Davidson, no matter what the hell it is, Street Glide, whatever, than having a 2025, anything. I don't care if it's a Honda or Toyota, Ford, Chevy, Stellantis, Chrysler Motors, all that garbage. I don't care. I'd rather have a 2025 Harley than any of the freaking four-wheel vehicles out there, period. Now, that says a lot right there. But, I prefer the older ones. But my point is, 99% of these AI videos are total garbage. And they're being pushed by the reptilian masters that, think they own us. They think they're goyim slaves. So what I'm saying is, stick with this bike. Even if you got problems with it, you can get through the problems because the community will help you out. There's nothing that can't be overcome. These bikes are pretty damn reliable because, look at, Panhead Billy Burrows. He was riding a 1960 Panhead with a 47 or 48 rigid frame for like 1,000,000 miles till he was almost 80 years old, till his hips gave out. Scooter Tramp Scotty, he's riding the Evo. He puts like way over like 250,000, or I don't know what he puts on the bikes. It's like, I know he's got way over 250,000 miles in most of his bikes before he retired them. I think it was like 300 something thousand. So what's that tell you? And why does he not get a Jap bike? Why does he? Because he wants, the simple reliability and the repairability. I could also tell you that, these bikes here, you got to even a Sportster, even though this is unit construction, it's like, the transmission on these older ones comes out easier than the transmission even on the big twins. It's a separate function. If you got a problem with the transmission and say, gear chips or something, it's not going to go in your engine. It's a separate thing. That's another big advantage of, the Sportster. You got the push rod system. You don't have a chain driving the overhead valves and stuff. So that's a little, but the other side of it is these things got all kinds of torque actually where you ride them. In other words, it's got the horsepower down below. Like when you're from 2,000 RPM up, this thing pulls like a freight train, man. It's great. And I don't really take it up to 6,000, 6,500 RPMs where it's really pulling hard. 2 to like 4 and 4.5 maybe max. That's it. So, it's the most practical bike going. And, I'm tired of these AI videos that are out there. There's so much garbage. YouTube is turned into it's basically, it reminds me of like what the CIA used to say years ago. There was one guy, the head of the CIA, we will know our mission is accomplished when everything that everybody thinks is true is actually false. So, they demonetize all the stuff that's true with, let's call it quote unquote alternative health. And yeah, I do know there's a lot of clickbait jerks out there, but that's one of my pet peeves because I don't do clickbait garbage. But I'm pointing out with this bike has been, you know what? It's part of your family. Let me put it to you that way. This bike is actually part of your family. You got to fix it. And if it takes a lot to fix it, you got to fix it. That's the way it is. But you know what? I've had this bike since '89 and bought it new. It's now it's a 1250cc. It's got the Andrews cam in it. It's got S&S bottom end and stuff. But it's I just took it out like, it's winter time. Even here in Florida, it gets kind of cold. But I just took it out 5 days ago. I was riding around a bunch for all the afternoon. It was nice. It goes just fine for me, man. So screw the naysayers and all that other stuff. I look at it like, what are we going to do? Are we going to cave into the garbage or are we going to fight and resist? Let's fight and resist.